What's up, y'all? It's Ty. In this video today, we're going to be making a tier list of everything that you guys can exchange for in the Bracket Busters event in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM. Talking about, how much each of these things are and whether it's worth it for you guys to exchange for them or not. Now, these are where I'm ranking cards are worth it wise. So, for example, Carmelo Anthony, Blake Griffin, Steph Curry are all going to be extremely low on this list because none of them are worth 4 million MT, which is when you lock them in, how much MT worth you are locking in. So just kind of realize that as we do dive into it. And if you are new to the channel, please smash that subscribe button. And let's start it off with Carmelo Anthony. And as you guys can see, it goes from high to low. So most expensive, basically to least expensive. I'm going to put Carmelo Anthony at D tier. Here's the reason, right? Carmelo Anthony is not worth it for you guys ultimately to go exchange for. He's not worth the amount of MT. I think it's over I think it's right at like 4.5 million MT is what you are sacrificing when you lock in that Carmelo Anthony, and he's just not worth that. As much as I think Carmelo Anthony is extremely good, he is not worth that much MT. So I do think D tier is the right tier for Carmelo Anthony when it comes down to it. Blake Griffin, I'm going to throw him at D tier as well. I think you could do worse, which I'll talk about here in a second, but these two are really not worth it. They're both really good cards, but when it comes down to are they worth you guys exchanging for? Absolutely not. Steph Curry, you're F tier. Steph Curry is not as good as Carmelo Anthony and Blake Griffin, and if you want Steph Curry, go spend the $100 and buy the pack for Steph Curry. Genuinely, it's way more worth it than locking in all of the event cards for Steph Curry. It's really that simple, easy to understand. Look, Steph Curry is just an undersized point guard. If you want me to gas the card, I could, but it's just really that simple, that easy. He's undersized. Yes, I get it. He's a 100 overall card, so he's going to have max stats, max badges, but at the end of the day, he's an undersized point guard, and I just do not think he's ultimately worth it. Is the card bad? No. Like, if you got Steph Curry, he's going to be decent for you, but he is absolutely not worth it. Next up, we got this 99 overall premium pack, and what you guys need 100 overalls for. There's no dark matter in this game that's worth that. And again, it's a random dark matter, so you're probably going to get a guy like, I don't know, Jalen Brunson. It's horrible. It's absolutely not worth it. Billy Donovan up next. They changed how he is, and so Billy Donovan is actually decent, right? You need 3 100 overall cards for Billy Donovan. Is he worth that? Ultimately, no. Okay, he is not worth that. That is still insanely expensive. But if you're comparing that to Melo, Blake, or Steph Curry, it's more worth it than getting any of those other cards. And I don't even like the fact that I'm saying that, but it is the truth. Like, Billy Donovan is more worth it than those other cards. Next up, 97 overall premium pack, option pack here. To get this, you got to get 2 100 overall cards. Never worth it, ever. I mean, ever. I'm telling you right now, it's never worth it. Go buy the Galaxy Opal you want instead of locking in that, right? You could literally be halfway to Galaxy Opal, a sellable Galaxy Opal Wembanyama by the time you do lock that thing in. So it has to be up there with being one of the worst value things that you guys can do right now with what you guys got. Zach Edey up next. He's going D tier as well. Here's the problem I got with Zach Edey. Zach Edey cost 4 million MT. Now, is that Zach Edey's fault? No, I'm not saying that's Zach Edey's fault. But the fact of the matter is you can go get Victor Wembanyama, Galaxy Opal, souped up for cheaper than Zach Edey, and you're going to be able to sell that Victor Wembanyama. So it's like, again, I don't hate Zach Edey, but when you're talking about 4 million MT, he's absolutely not worth it. Victor Oladipo up next. Another card, like Victor Oladipo, you need 8 dark matter event cards. For Victor Oladipo, who isn't that great. Like, he's D tier as well. Jerry Stackhouse, I'll throw Jerry Stackhouse at C tier. Because guess what? Jerry Stackhouse is so much better than Victor Oladipo. It's really not even close. It's really not even a comparison. The card is literally so much better. And so, like, when it comes down to it, I guess Stackhouse can be C tier. If you really want to go get the card, you can, but he is ultimately not going to be worth it. Kemba Walker up next. I'm going to throw him at D tier. He only takes 1 dark matter card. Is the card bad? Yeah, he's not very good, but he's still more worth it than locking in for Victor Oladipo or Steph Curry. The card stinks. I'd never recommend it. But, at the end of the day, like, if you're comparing, would I rather you guys lock in for Kemba Walker or Victor Oladipo? I'd rather have you guys lock in for Kemba Walker. Like, yeah, both are not smart decisions whatsoever. But what is the lesser of two? Well, get Kemba Walker and take the rest and get MT with it, right? Like, it really is that simple, that easy. This MJ James Worthy duo, honestly, I don't know what 2K is trying to do. Like, I really don't know what they're trying to do. Both those cards stink by themselves. They're gonna stink together, and they're ridiculously expensive. It is an F tier duo. If you are spending any event tokens getting James Worthy and Michael Jordan, I genuinely, like, I can't help you. And as I talk about these, I'm just going to pull up the graphic on my other screen here so you guys can see exactly how expensive all of these things are. So if you go and get that duo, you're basically locking in 117,000 MT worth. It's just not worth it. Not worth it at all. And like, the thing with Kemba Walker is it's 117,000 MT as well. Not worth it. Jarrett Culver, you're F tier as well. Why? Because if you get Jarrett Culver, you are locking in 780,000 MT worth. 780,000 MT. That is absolutely sickening, absolutely ridiculous. It is 100% not worth it. That's a crazy, crazy, crazy amount of MT that you are locking in if you go and get that card. So ultimately, not worth it for Jarrett Culver whatsoever. Next up, we do have Galaxy Open Miles Bridges. Not worth it either. Miles Bridges, you're locking in nearly 600,000 MT worth for Miles Bridges, who isn't even better than Lowry Marketing, who is way cheaper. I mean, what are we really doing here? It just makes no sense. Juan Dixon is actually going to go at C tier. Now, hear me out with Juan Dixon. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, like, he is one of the most fun cards to use in this entire game. The problem with Juan Dixon is he is 600,000 MT. Is he worth that? No. But again, Juan Dixon is at least absolutely fun, and so I guess if you want to go get Juan Dixon, like, do what you have to do. C tier is not good. Remember, we've got B through S to still get through. Jamal Mashburn, 400,000 MT. D tier. I'm throwing Juan Dixon at D tier. He's fun, but he's definitely not worth it. The thing for Jamal Mashburn is you're locking in 400,000 MT for the card. It's not worth it. Joakim Noah is going to go high, right? And as I go through Joakim Noah, I'm also going to go Corey Brewer because they get the duo together, right? And so if you really want to run that duo, I think it is an A tier caliber of duo. There's not going to be a ton at S. There's not going to be a ton at A. I think Joakim Noah and Corey Brewer are a really, really solid, really good duo. Watch my duo gameplay today. I dropped a video talking about them. They're a duo that can play at the highest level. They absolutely are. They're a duo that's extremely good, turns them into dark matters. And guess what? The duo costs about 200,000 MT. Yes, you got to lock it in. I don't love that. But it's not the worst value, right? And again, if you want to have fun with the event, I don't mind that duo whatsoever. The PJ Washington and Hero duo costs 78,000 MT. Now, do I love this duo? No. Do I think this duo is a C tier duo? Yes. I think that this duo, you can make the case, the argument. I don't love either card, but if you do like these cards, that they are C tier. Again, I don't love it, but if that's the case you want to make, it's not the worst. Galaxy Open Premium Pack, 78,000 MT is what you're locking in. Never makes sense to me. I mean, again, unless you're pulling Victor Wembanyama, which you're not going to pull Wemby, this is absolutely not worth your time to do. But if you do happen to pull Wemby, then I guess it's worth it. I'm going to go C tier. Honestly, I might even go B tier. Because guess what? There is way worse things that you guys can do with 78,000 MT with this event than to get a Galaxy Opal. So I'm actually going to go B tier. You just got to hope the odds are on your side, I guess, if you really want to do that. Then we get to the pink diamonds. Now, remember, these pink diamonds should be somewhat affordable. They're really not, though. And we see Cam Reddish. I'm going C tier with this. I can't. Cam Reddish is good, but you have to lock in 78,000 MT for the card. It's just not worth it. Yes, Cam Reddish is good. I think the card's incredible, but you have to lock in all that MT. It's just like, what are we doing? Why would anybody lock in all of that MT? It just does not make sense to me. So I'm going to put Cam Reddish at C tier. Do I think the card's solid? Yes. But C tier is absolutely as high as I can go with Cam Reddish. Then we see Dante DiVincenzo. I don't think Dante's good. And the fact of the matter that he costs 50,000 MT just doesn't make sense. Dante D tier. DeAndre Hunter, I'm going to go C tier with as well. The thing with DeAndre Hunter, he's only 30,000 MT, so it makes a little more sense. Like you're locking in 30,000 MT instead of, again, downgrading downwards. Remember, when I'm comparing him to the MT, we're comparing him if you downgrade downwards to the bottom. Okay, it's what you're comparing to. So I do think the card's obviously decent, obviously solid. But again, I don't think he's worth it. Aaron Aflalo. With Aflalo, you're only locking in 20,000 MT. I'm going to go C tier. Nick Collison, you're locking in 10,000 MT. I don't think any of them are worth it, but I am going to go C tier with all of them. I think all of them are solid enough that, you know what, if that's really what you want to do, if you want to lock them in, go ahead and do what you got to do. I think there's a lot worse things than locking in for those guys. Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, 50,000 MT. Now, is this duo worth it? No. But I don't think that this duo is that bad. And I've seen people in my comments say that this duo is worth it. Now, again, I personally don't think this duo is worth it, mostly because of Jalen Brunson. Like, Jalen Brunson's just an undersized guard. I don't think he's really worth it. But again, for 50,000 MT, not the worst. Pink Diamond for 50,000 MT, F tier. Like, literally makes no sense for anybody to buy that. Diamond Premium for 20,000 MT, again, literally makes 0 sense for anybody to buy that. If you're buying those, literally makes no sense. Bracket Busters, 10 bucks. I don't love it, but I am going to put it at B tier. Why? Because at least out of that, you're going to return some MT, right? Like, at least out of that, you're going to get some jerseys, some shoes, stuff like that to return some MT. Everything out of there is unsellable, though. That's one thing I despise, is everything you pull out of that Bracket Busters pack is not going to be sellable. But I still do think it's B tier. I think you can do a lot worse. Legends badge pack for 40,000 MT. I honestly don't think that's bad, genuinely. And so, like, if you're looking at things that are worth it, like, if you have a good card, let's say, like, if you have a 100 overall card, that legend badge could be worth the MT. I'm going to go B tier, though, because it's still probably not worth it at the end of the day. Hakeem Warwick's actually solid. 20,000 MT for Hakeem Warwick. I'm going to throw him at B tier. I think the card's good. I think he has a duo with somebody, but the other card that has the duo, I'm trying to think of who that other card is. Is it Chris Webber that he has a duo with? It's somebody that's insanely expensive. But the problem is the other card that he has a duo with is just ridiculously expensive. So, I mean, it's just hard for Hakeem Warwick to really work. Christian Braun, again, relatively cheap. I don't love Christian Braun that much, so I'm going to go C tier. But he is only, 6,000 MT, not the worst. Abaji, C tier is, only 4,000 MT, but I don't love the card. Ty Jerome, 4,000 MT for Ty Jerome, or 2,000 MT for Ty Jerome, 6'5" point guard. Not bad whatsoever. Sheldon Williams, again, 2,000 MT for Sheldon Williams isn't bad either. If you need cards for, I think, salary cap, they should be decently inexpensive. And again, they're cards that are really, really, really solid options for your squad. So I don't mind Ty Jerome, Sheldon Williams. If you have, a couple of extra Ammies that you want to give him, do what you got to do. Dillingham Shepard duo. It's only 10,000 MT. But if you're running this duo, I don't know. Like, they're so undersized. Neither one of these cards are very good. So it's just like, it makes really no sense to lock in for Dillingham or Shepard. I'm not hating on it if that's what you want to do. Again, you get 2 Dark Matters, but the cards just ultimately are not great. Anderson Walker, Tubby Walker, Derek Anderson, neither of them are great. I guess I'll go C tier because I think it's better than the Dillingham Shepard duo, but it's not by much. Again, 10,000 MT, you could do a lot worse. Richard Hamilton and this other point guard, D tier. These cards, these duos are not worth it. Season 4 Super Pack. It makes no sense to buy this. It's unsellable for 8,000 MT. It just makes absolutely no sense. This holo is going to be a holo 92 pack. It's not worth it. D tier. And this is a holo 90 pack. Not worth it. D tier. Like, again, if you really love holos, if you're collecting holo cards, it's different. It's a separate situation. But otherwise, it's not worth it. Hall of Fame badge pack for 6,000 MT. It sounds bad, but I'm going to put it at B tier. Why? Because there's worse things that you guys can do with your event tokens than get a Legend or Hall of Fame badge. I don't think either of them are worth it, but guess what? There's way worse things that you guys can do than get a Legend badge and get a Hall of Fame badge for a couple event cards. AC Law up next. Man, I like this card. I'm going to go A tier. And y'all can call me crazy, but look at AC Law 6, and you're only locking in 3,000 MT for the card. Sign me up for AC Law. A tier, I really like the card. Amy George Yang, I don't love him, but at the end of the day, he's 1,000 MT, C tier. Again, I don't love the card, so I'm not going to gas him. Davion Mitchell, 650 MT. I just don't love the card. Jared Butler, C tier, 300 MT for Jared Butler. I don't hate him whatsoever. Sign me up for Jared Butler. The deluxe badge pack isn't bad. And so I am going to throw the deluxe badge pack at A tier. It's just not the best thing to do with the your tokens or your event cards. There is something that is better than the badge pack, which I'll get to in a second. But if you do the badge pack, you are going to be able to make a solid amount of MT with this event. Badge pack isn't bad, but again, there is something slightly better, and it's this shoe and takeover. There is nothing better than this shoe and takeover thing right now to exchange for. Why? Because it literally grants you guys so much MT. If you downgrade all of your event cards to the shoe and takeover, you're gonna end up making a ton of MT with this event that 2K is giving out, right? 2K wants you to think that you need all of these dark matters, all of these 100 overalls. And sure, if you have all the money in the world, do what you guys gotta do. I'm not gonna be the one to tell you what to do with these event cards or not to do. What I will tell you is, if you make the most out of this event, you're gonna end up being really, really good MT-wise down the road. As far as these Series 1 cards, I mean, they're just not worth it. Like, they're just not, and this isn't even honestly a part of the event. So, I don't even know why they're on this list. But that is gonna wrap it up for this video today. Simply put, downgrading is your best option. Now, again, if you want Joakim Noah, Corey Brewer, get that duo, and then downgrade the rest. If you want AC Law as far as a fun AME point guard, do what you guys got to do. Even some of those diamond cards are okay value-wise. But value-wise, if you want the most expensive, best value thing, Billy Donovan, Jerry Stackhouse is it, right? Those are your best options, in my opinion. That is going to wrap it up for our video. Let me know your thoughts on it down below in the comments. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.